equation here. Let's bring in Ian Gardner. He's an historian of Russian war propaganda, and he joins us now from Kingston, Ontario. Ian, thanks for your time tonight. Look, what is the message Russians are getting sent about this conflict?
Well, the message is really rather an odd one, in that Russians are still, and we're now 10 days into this war, being told that this is not a war, this is not an invasion, this is what's being called a special military operation. They're being told that their forces have gone into Ukraine to help a brother nation. We've heard the message time and again from Putin and the higher-ups that this is about a Nazi problem in Ukraine. And now we're seeing, as the military operation slows down and runs into some trouble, that the propaganda effort is being stepped up, and we're seeing ever more lurid claims about Ukrainian plans to prepare nuclear bombs, Ukrainian plans to attack its own citizens. All of this, of course, is provided completely without evidence.
And clearly some are not believing that, because we've seen demonstrations in Russia, thousands of people demonstrating against the invasion.
Absolutely. At a guess, given the polling we have, which is very hard to do in Russia, around half of young people and more 60 to 80% of older people are in favor of the quote-unquote special operation. But when it comes to the more severe claims that the government is making, we're really not sure what people make of it. So we can only get a sense from what users are writing on social media, what users are sharing, and that is that they're more worried about the economic shocks that are coming than convinced that Russia needs to go and get involved in a war of annihilation in Ukrainian cities.
So, Ian, the message that gets sent to the world from Moscow, from Vladimir Putin, does he care? Do they care that it is a credible message, or do they just put it out there and it's good enough that something is out there?
Well, certainly when it comes to the West, no. They don't care whether it's credible or not. The idea is to use this sledgehammer. We've seen time and again over the last few years that the Russian social media and disinformation apparatus is incredibly good at tearing things apart, at sowing discord, sowing discontent. I've been monitoring Western social media over the last few days and noting how many times ordinary Western users are indeed picking up on the propaganda that the Russian government is spreading. And if it's spreading in the West, then, yeah, of course it's effective and working in Russia on ordinary Russians too, especially those who are sticking to the state networks.
What kind of message do you think is being spread in the West that is misinformation or disinformation?
Well, I mean, we're seeing some really wild claims about NATO's ambitions around nuclear arms, I've seen some stories around vaccines and biological warfare that has to do with the US. It's all really wild stuff, the most kind of extreme stuff. It doesn't make any sense. It's coming from disreputable sources, but it is filtering down into the same kind of extremist groups that we've seen spread things like anti-vax information over the last couple of years.
Tell me just generally about the effect of the online platform now that there are so many of them and easily accessible, how much they get used to send these messages out.
So certainly in the West, they're being very heavily used. And in Russia, though, they're playing a really, really key role, because we've seen in the last 3 or 4 days, the Russian government has tried to stamp down on the information war coming from the other side, which we know has been terribly effective. Those images of heroic Zelensky and Ukrainian civilians under fire, they're trying to shut off access to Facebook, to Twitter. They're having a bit of a ding-dong with TikTok today. YouTube is in the sights of the communications regulator too. So this information is going both ways, right? We really are in a period of intense information warfare.
Yeah, it really is incredible. Ian, I appreciate you joining us tonight, sir. Thank you for your time.
You're very welcome. Thank you.